Hey guys, it's Joe the Android Guy. In today's episode of the Android Guy Weekly, we're going to talk about bloatware, the good, the bad, and the ugly. At the end of every episode of the Android Guy Weekly, we always ask you to comment, to participate, and then to send in suggestions or questions that we can cover in upcoming episodes. Well, this one, and I apologize in advance, I'm probably going to get your name wrong. This question comes from Lauren Chu and says, what do you think about built-in apps on Android devices? Starting with launchers like TouchWiz, Sense, etc., daily apps like memo takers, voice recorders, email clients, Keys Air, and the corresponding widgets for these applications. Many refer to them as bloatware, while I find them useful and better integrated with the OS than third-party apps. So what is bloatware? Bloatware is a term that carries over from the PC days, when manufacturers would put the operating system on, the drivers on, and then a whole bunch of crap that they usually got paid by the people who wrote the crap to put on. And I'm sorry if you're one of those people who wrote the crap. A lot of those programs were pretty decent. I just want the opportunity to install them myself and not have to live with them being installed. Now, why is that a problem? Well, it's not a problem per se, but okay, it is a problem. And here's why. When you have a desktop PC, you've got a relatively large hard drive, you've got a relatively large amount of RAM and a relatively powerful processor, and ideally a really hefty video processor as well. So when all these programs are installed, they're occupying some of that space, but hey, it's a big hard drive, so it doesn't matter that much. If they're running in the background, well, you've got a lot of RAM, so it doesn't matter that much. You've got, a fast processor, so it doesn't matter that much. But when you start adding them up and get 10 and 12 and 15 and who knows how many of these apps running all the time, well, it starts to become a problem. And what's even a bigger problem is when people are doing that on mobile devices. On your phone or your tablet, you have significantly less storage, significantly less RAM, and significantly less processor than you do on a desktop PC. But we're going kind of the same way with having this bloatware installed on our handheld devices. And it's really not cool because what slowed us down a lot on the desktop slows us down a lot on mobiles. We don't like that at all because we like quick, fast mobiles. All in all, bloatware shouldn't be a problem because in most cases, going back to desktops now, you can just uninstall it. It might take a while, and if you're not a really savvy user, you might not know that you need to go in and clean up when you get your brand new computer. And that would be like getting a brand new car and having to empty the truck with all the bricks that they loaded in there so you can get the mileage that was advertised. It's just ridiculous. But you could still do it. Over on our mobile devices, most of the time those apps are installed as system devices, or system apps rather. So you can't uninstall them because guess what? You don't have root. They don't trust you enough to take that stuff off. So if you've got a Verizon device and you don't want NFL Ticket, too bad. It's on there and you've got to live with it. And it's going to go out and try and update, and it might be running in the background to get, scores and highlights and whatnot. And it might be telling you all this even if you don't like it. Now, I don't know who doesn't like American football, but let's say you are that one person out there that doesn't and you want to get rid of it. You can't because it's bloatware. So let's go back to the question now. What about these other apps that come pre-installed? They're pretty good, like voice recorders, like note-taking apps. Okay, some of them are very, very nice and really should be across the board. Every device should have those, but they're useful. So back to the PC metaphor. Notepad, calculator, Paint. Comes with every version of Windows out there since like version 2. And they're useful, and they're small, and they don't get in the way. And when they do that, and they serve one function and do it well, I still use Notepad today. If I need to hurry and quick take a note, no problem. Start, run, Notepad, done. Got it. Same thing with Calc. I need to calculate something really quick. Start, run, Calc, done. Very easy. Start, run, Paint. I just like saying start, run, can you tell? So, or start, run, Pocketnow.com. Bam. So, what about these on handhelds? Okay, on handhelds, yes, I can see that and I can like that, but I still want to be able to remove them. On a desktop, I can't really remove those because they're system apps. Same thing on handhelds. They're system apps. I can't remove them. but if they're useful, I don't mind as much. I think most of you probably wouldn't mind as much. Where it gets problematic is when you get all these branded apps. And I'm picking on Verizon because the Verizon phones that I've reviewed recently have had half a dozen or more Verizon branded apps, then a whole bunch of other apps. And it's really not cool to do that. Let me uninstall those. At the very least, let me remove them from my phone that I bought. Let me take those off if I'm not going to use them. I don't want it there taking up space. Even if I'm not running, if it's not running in the background, I don't want it on the phone. Just let me clean it off. On a desktop PC, I can format the thing and reinstall Windows. Great, now it's clean. Woohoo! I have a little bit of a problem installing drivers and whatnot because maybe they didn't ship a nice driver CD with the computer, but I can still do that. With my Android phone, the only way that I can do that is to root it, install a custom recovery, and install a custom ROM, which I don't know if you know me very well. Hi, I'm Joe the Android guy. Yeah, that's what I do. Primarily for that reason. Makes it go fast, cleans it up, lets me do all kinds of stuff. So the last topic in that question was launchers. Now the launcher, as we know, is the app that launches your apps. It holds the icons, it holds the widgets, it holds the app drawer. It's the part that holds everything together and lets you launch stuff out. But in most cases, the launcher also includes other stuff as well, or it's closely tied into other apps. For example, on HTC Sense, you've got your contacts, your dialer, your email, stuff like that, your calendar, that all look like Sense. So if you want to put in a new custom launcher, now you've got to find new custom apps for those as well that look more like stock. And let's face it, that's relatively difficult to do. And to do it right, you're going to have to spend some money. Sure, it's only like $2-3 per app, but you're still going to have to spend money to do it just so you can get rid of the stuff that came with your device that you didn't want because you wanted stock or you wanted the freedom to have something else. Can you do it? Yes. Is it as fluid and as seamless? No, and that's unfortunate unless you get a whole launcher suite like SPB. SPB has put together a pretty good desktop and it does a lot of stuff. If you like it, it's great. If you don't like it, not so great. It does cost like $15 to get. So if you want to try it, hopefully that 15-minute refund window is long enough for you to install it and set it as your default and configure it and play with it and see. It's not long enough to do all that. Don't even try. But that's the point. Why can't I say, you know what, I want to go to Sense from my stock Android and buy it in the market? And it has all of this stuff in it. And if I want to switch to something else, no problem. I go in the market and the Play Store. That's going to be a hard habit to break. Why can't I buy Motorola's from the Play Store and put it on my device and run it? Why can't I do that? Because it's bloatware, because it's too tightly coupled in, and because that's the branding that differentiates everything. Well, I'd argue it would probably be good if they let you buy stuff to customize your phone how you want it. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you had a Samsung phone running a Motorola launcher? I think Motorola would be all over that. And Samsung, wouldn't it be cool if your TouchWiz was running on a Droid Max? Yeah, so go ahead and do this, guys. Put your launchers, the whole thing, out into the market, the Play Store. Now, doing that is going to do two things. One, it's going to let people choose what they want to run. Two, it's going to let people remove what they don't want to run. And three, it's going to decouple the launchers from the core operating system such that, well, now if we want to upgrade to Ice Cream Sandwich, no problem. We upgrade to Ice Cream Sandwich, and then all of that launcher stuff is just an app that sits on top of it that can be patched and updated through the Play Store. No problem. Let's do that, and then can we start getting some updates to phones a little bit faster? I hope. Okay. So, that was the topic for today. Bloatware, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, I'm a little bit biased and think most of it's ugly. But like the person who wrote in, some of it's not bad. So I'd like to know, what's your favorite bloatware? What comes prepackaged on your phones that you like and wouldn't know what you could do without, or would have a hard time doing without if you switched to another phone that didn't have that pre-installed? Let us know that down in the comments. course, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up so that your friends know that you're watching. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episodes of the Android Guy Weekly. And of course, head on over to Pocketnow.com so you can not only get news, tips, articles, but editorials and all kinds of cool stuff on other platforms, not just Android. For Pocketnow and the Android Guy Weekly, I'm Joe Levi.